All right, we are back with another video, guys. This one is going to be more of a story time type video and some of the takeaways from that. The first 100 ounces of silver that I stacked, I finalized that around 2016 or so. I started stacking, or I should say I bought my first American Silver Eagles in 2013. Got a coin here to represent that. It's the Australian Year of the Snake. Started that. I was in undergraduate at the time. Bought a couple Silver Eagles. Was doing some odd job stuff on the side and used that as a way to put a little bit of money aside. But like most college age people, I was still spending a lot of money on takeout food and alcohol, things like that. A lot of not really being disciplined financially. Graduated in 2014 from undergrad, and around that time or so I was probably had in the mid 20s range for ounces of pure silver, and then a couple dollars face value of constitutional or junk silver. Even still, it wasn't really a point that I had a lot of financial discipline. I was still going through university at the time and was getting ready for graduate school, all of those things. And I had a gap year. So in the gap year, I, worked a lot, got everything ready for applications for graduate school. And so that was 2015 year of the goat. And in that year, I put a lot of money aside, put a lot of money into metals, things like that, because I was living with my parents, didn't have a lot of expenses aside from, gas for my car and, takeout food basically. Everything else was still, basically taken on by my parents, so I was able to, set a lot of money aside for silver. That was right around the time I kind of got towards that, I'm going to say rough 100 ounce mark. A lot of the takeaway from that was, I had friends that were working in professional jobs at the time, and they would always want to go out and party or want to go out to eat or want to go and do, things that would, cost a lot of money. And, I would, go occasionally, but I wouldn't, break the bank, go crazy with it. And that's, really the kind of important lesson that you kind of get from, the first kind of 100 ounces and putting that aside is you get a bit of sort of personal discipline in your finances, and you kind of have this sort of epiphany, that this aha moment where you go, every little thing, it kind of adds up, and every little thing that you do, a couple of bucks here and a couple of bucks there, it sort of flips on its head in your mind of every 4 cups of coffee from Starbucks that I skip, I can go get another Silver Eagle, or every time I don't get Chipotle and something else, let's say a cup of coffee that same day for lunch and breakfast, I can go and get another Silver Eagle, and it adds up pretty quickly. And there's a saying in the military of ounces equal pounds and pounds equal pain, but for precious metals and for stacking, it's the opposite. Dollars equal ounces and ounces equal financial freedom. Fast forward a couple of years, I went through professional school and graduated from dental school in 2019. I was back at my parents' house again, working as a dentist, and the difference between being a dentist salary and a tutor salary are quite a bit different. And around 2019 or so, the price of silver was pretty reasonable. But as you can see from the screen, I started the Perth Lunar Series, and these are the 5 ounce size. And I wanted to, finish that series out. Further on into my stacking career, I, started to try and get some of the more rare pieces from this series. That would be something like this Year of the Ox. And it took me a long time to find that coin. It took me a long time to get it at a price that I wanted to purchase it at, or what I was willing to pay for it. And there was a lot of patience involved in that process of finding and was hunting and waiting for that coin to come up. And in that process, the whole time, I'm working and I'm putting money aside for this, putting money aside for other things. But I got all the coins in this series completed, but it took a long time to find that, year of the ox. And, even longer than that, it took me to find this one, the year of the mouse there. That's a really rare coin to find. There's not many of those minted, period. And they don't really come up for sale all that often, especially the non-colorized version. If you were to go and look on eBay right now, you'd probably find the colorized version, but this was the non-colorized version. I think they only made about 3,000 of those. I was waiting about 4 years or so from the time I got the ox till the time I got the mouse, and I paid a lot more for that than I'd like to admit I did, but it was something I needed to complete the set. And this is something, I mentioned in these videos, and in the previous one I said, don't buy, expensive coins, don't put a lot of money into rare things, get a basis established. And, it took me a long time to get the ox and to get the mouse in this series. And along the way, a lot of the, other kind of less rare ones like the snake and the horse and the goat, I would get duplicates of those. And then, further on down the road, I'd sell those, flip them for a couple of bucks here or there, and use that to kind of, bring the average cost of this series down. But, the important lesson here is, as the age-old saying goes, good things come to those who wait. And at the same time, good things also come to those who, are working to, have the money for those things when they do come up. Because when that mouse came available, I jumped on it right away. And the same thing with the ox. And if I had to wait 2 months or 3 months aggressively saving money, I think those would have disappeared, and I would have needed to wait another 2 or 3 or 4 years potentially for that to come back up. And it's been years since I've bought that ox and that mouse, and I have yet to find a single eBay listing or a bullion dealer listing with either of those in the 5 ounce or larger sizes that's under a couple $1,000s. But I wanted to just reiterate those points for you guys, that the first 100 ounces is going to be a little bit of a challenge to get to. You're going to want to get some and then go out and buy some more, and then buy some more, and then buy some more. But you want to be disciplined with it, and that first 100 ounces is where you're going to learn some of that discipline. And I'm a very rewards driven individual, so every time I would have a tough week, or we met some goal or we hit some target, whether it was tutoring a student or doing well on a midterm or hitting our target goal for the month in the office, it would I'd reward myself with one of these lunar series coins. And the other side of it is I like to spend money. I'm a natural spender, and in my mind it's better to spend my money on a 10 ounce bar or a 1/10 ounce gold eagle, something that a couple of months, couple of years down the road, I can always sell back and get the majority of the value for it, or if not more than what I paid for it out of it, versus something that's collectible but not necessarily valuable in its resale price. Things like Funko Pops, Beanie Babies, etc. And it's not to poo-poo on any of those, to each their own. I just don't see the collectability or the value in those that I do in coins and bullion. That's some of my takeaway from the kind of first 100 ounces that I got, and to show off a little bit of my collection here, some of my more rare coins. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Bullion Bites. I'm going to see you on the next video.